What's going on, guys? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and today I'm checking out the Core Essentials Tactical Gun Belt. This product was sent to me for review, and since it's the first of its kind, I wanted to talk really briefly about the decision to feature this product and how I'm kind of making those decisions going forward. I'll try and keep it super brief though. The first thing that I take into consideration is whether or not it fits my niche and is something that I can get excited about. Obviously, I want to make videos that are relevant to EDC or the knife world, and also that I can kind of just get excited about. If I'm not super excited about it, it's probably not going to make for the most interesting video. So that's kind of the first consideration. The second thing is just the ability to make an honest review. If they're, the company's reaching out and saying, these are the talking points you want to hit, don't talk about anything negative, obviously, that's not really something that's going to be a fit for the channel. And to Core Essentials' credit, they were very open that they're looking for an honest review, and really, before I agreed to it, there wasn't really anything outside of we want an honest review from an EDCer's perspective. And so those are the two main things I took into consideration. For this one in particular, because it's a gun belt and I don't typically feature guns on the channel, wanted to make sure that obviously it was clear to them that I'm going to be doing this from an EDCer's perspective, not necessarily a gun owner's perspective. And I do own guns, but because of where I live, it's almost impossible to get a concealed carry permit. So I don't carry one from day to day, and they were fine with that, of course. So this checked all the boxes, so I said go ahead and send it over, and they sent it over really quickly, and also they provided me with a coupon code or promo code for 10% off, which is Uncommon10. I'll put it down in the description below so you can just copy and paste it. And I'm not really getting any kickback or anything from that. It's just a coupon code to save you 10%. If you find one that's more than 10%, definitely use that. But if you don't have a code, that'll save you. And then the second thing was they wanted to help kind of grow the channel. They know I'm pretty early on in my YouTube career, so to speak. And so they agreed to do a giveaway for the viewers as well. And so stay tuned to the end of the video. That giveaway is going to be ending Saturday, April 23rd. So if you want a chance to win one of these, not the specific one, but one of your choice, stay tuned towards the end of the video. So let's get into what's actually in the box. And there's a couple things outside of if you just ordered the belt and buckle in here. So up first is the sizing guide, and there's a QR code there on the front that may or may not work in the video, but if not, I'll put a link in the description below. Honestly, it's pretty simple, so you probably don't need a video to explain it, but if you do, it'll be there. But essentially, there's two different instructions in here, one for their classic fashion belts and one for their EDC gun belts. This is the EDC gun belt, so you're going to want to follow that. And then there's more instructions on this side if you want to pause there. This does come with the belt, so if you're ordering it, you probably already have this, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. Next up in the box is the gun belt hanger, and this will actually hold their fashion belts as well. So this will hold 3 of their belts, and it just kind of hangs like a normal hanger, as well as the tool for changing out the belt buckles. And that comes with the buckle as well. So this is $3.95. This does not come with the purchase, but will hold 1, 2, or 3 belts, and super nice way to hold them. Right now I just kind of throw them over the hanger rack itself, or rod, I guess, itself, but they're a little bit wider, obviously, so this takes up a lot less space, so very nice. And the way it works is it just the belt buckle just kind of slides onto here and locks into place, and then you just release it to take it off. Under that, this is the belt keeper. This is just, the belts are super rigid, so obviously you can tuck it into the belt loops of your pants, but if it's longer by a couple inches, it's probably still going to stick up, so this is just to hold it down. And this is pretty rigid itself, so it holds it really well. Some extra screws, which the belt buckle comes with 2 screws already screwed in, but if you lose those for whatever reason, there's a couple extra here, which is nice. And then the belt protector sleeve. This is sold separately. It's $3.95, and I haven't really been using it, but if you're using like an in-waistband holster that has a metal clip on it, this is nice to protect the belt from wear and tear, because those metal clips do tend to eat away at whatever you clip them to. They're usually pretty firm and rough on whatever you're clipping them to. So this is just to preserve the life of your belt. Obviously not necessary, but for $3.95, I'd much rather beat this up than the belt itself. And then the last two items in the box, and let me get this box out of the way, are the belt itself. And the belts, this one is in black. This come in a bunch of different colors, as well as like different patterns, mostly camo patterns and solid colors. But the belt is $39.99 for this variation, which is the 1.5" by 54 inches, and you trim it down once you get it. So the max is a pant size of 48, because you're going to want to leave about 6 inches above whatever your pant size is. So if you're bigger than a size 48, you probably want to order the size up belt. They do have an extended size that goes up to 72 inches. So definitely make sure if you're over a size 48 that you're ordering that one instead of this one. I'm not sure if there's a price difference on there. I would imagine they're pretty similar, but again, did not check that. And then the other item that comes, and they are sold separately. You can buy them as a bundle. I don't know that you actually save any money when you buy them as a bundle, but you can, is the belt buckle itself. And so this is the X6 in black. So there's about 10 different variations of the tactical buckles, and from those 10 variations, there's also a couple different color variations, so probably about 20 or so total. And the way this works is there's just like this folding piece that has some teeth on it, just kind of like any belt buckle that clips on with those teeth, as well as 2 screws that you loosen up before you clamp down, and then once you clamp down, you screw those screws back in, and it fits in there very snugly and securely. There's no wiggle whatsoever. So as you can see, I have it, well, the last mark is 37, but that's because 38 is in here. So I wear a size 32, and so adding 6 inches to that, I cut it off at 38. And so the way this works is pretty standard as far as sliding it through the belt buckle. But after the first maybe 2 inches or so, there's this ratcheting kind of slide that works a lot like a zip tie. And so as you slide it in, every 1/4 inch there's a click and it will go over that ramp, but you can't pull it backwards. And so you tighten it down exactly where you want it. And then as soon as you want to take it off, you push this and it kind of releases, and you can slide backwards after pushing that button. And so this works really well and is one of my favorite features of the belt. Even if I'm not carrying anything on my belt, I think this will probably replace my normal belt, because it solves a kind of major problem with standard belts that use like a hole system. So like my leather belt, for example, I've been losing a lot of weight over the last 2 years or so, and it always seems like I'm right in between hole sizes. So the holes are spread out, I guess, 1 inch to 1.5 inches apart, and it always seems like it's either too tight or too loose, and you're in between hole sizes. Or if you stay on one hole size for too long, that hole starts kind of warping and bending right there on the belt. And so this really solves that problem, because it has about, I think they say 40 plus sizing positions. And so there's a very precise sizing, and no matter what kind of where you are in between those hole sizes, you're not going to have that problem, because you can adjust every 1/4 inch. And even the way it works, it makes it really easy to adjust on the fly. So with a typical belt, if you're adjusting your belt, it's pretty clear what you're doing. So it can be a little bit awkward kind of fumbling with the belt itself. With this one, you can do it pretty discreetly. So if you're moving something, you want to tighten your belt down, or running and you want to tighten your belt down, you can just kind of pull on the end, and it ratchets very easily and discreetly. And then if you want to let loose a little bit, and say you're sitting down or just ate a big meal and you want to loosen your belt up, you just pull this and slide ever so slightly, and you can move down a 1/4 inch at a time. And it works really well and really discreetly without kind of giving away that you're adjusting your belt, which is something, again, you can't really do with those typical hole systems. So I really enjoyed that. And then I guess the other key feature, I'll show you with the portion that I cut off. And I have some of the items I've been testing it out with. I don't typically carry anything on my belt, so I wanted to obviously test carrying things on my belt, see if I like it, and make sure I give it kind of a run through with what it's actually meant to do. I did not carry all of these at the same time. I would typically just have one on my belt at a time. But I also didn't want to buy anything to carry on the belt because I'm not sure if it's something that I want to do long term. And so I tested it out with this MKM. This is actually like a pocket sheath more so. It's meant to clip to the outside of your pocket, and it's magnet, but it slides onto the belt really well. And the magnet's strong enough that it doesn't fall off. It does wiggle a little bit. It's not super like stable there. So it'll wiggle back and forth, but I haven't had any issue with it falling off. So this is an MKM again. It has a MKM kind of like Swiss Army knife in there, but you can put any kind of small to medium sized knife. And then the Leatherman, I think this is the Charge with the G10 scales from REI. But I carried a few different Leathermans on there, and they all have basically the same sheath, so no point in putting all of them in the video, but I did carry a few different ones. And then this last one, I only carried for a couple of days because it's not really a practical knife that I actually use. But this is the Grim Workshop. I think it's their Adzi with the handles and their leather sheath. And one thing I really liked about this was actually the horizontal carry. So I realized as just carrying this, even though I didn't really use it, I really enjoyed the horizontal orientation more than the vertical orientation, just because this kind of sticks up a little bit awkwardly and is a little bit less natural to pull things out of. I guess that also helps that there's nothing holding this in. You can just pull it directly out. But it felt a lot more natural to me and a lot less intrusive on the belt. So as I continue to test out belt carries and get more into it, I definitely think I'll look for more horizontal orientation holsters. But the thing I wanted to show, I guess I got sidetracked for a few minutes there, was the core of the belt. And so it's picking up pretty well there. But they have what's called their reinforced power core, and so this is what keeps the belt super rigid. And there's a little bit of flex. I mean, you can turn it if you put some force behind it. Even having all three of those on there on this short piece, they're not going to roll over on you like a typical belt might with a lot of weight. And these are rated for kind of an 8-pound load, but they're tested at around 500 plus pounds, and they don't break under that pressure either. But of course, you're not going to want to carry that amount of weight on your belt. But they are tested at an 8-pound load. And so I did grab another belt just to show. This is the recycled Firefighter EDC tactical belt. So this is just nylon webbing, and there's no core in it. And I just wanted to show kind of that although you don't really have problems with kind of the small stuff that I'm carrying, this one will flex and roll on you if you put enough pressure on it. And so again, with a Leatherman, not really noticing a big issue there. It's not heavy enough for even this non-reinforced belt to have issues, but I would imagine as you get heavier items and as you're adding gun holsters with the gun, they're getting a lot heavier, and you might run into some issues where this one you're definitely not going to run into issues just because of how rigid it is, and that works really well. So overall, I've been wearing it for a little over 3 weeks now, and really enjoying kind of the belt carry. One thing that I really like about it is I carry a Leatherman every day. And when I'm working from home, obviously that's pretty easy to do. I just keep it nearby in a backpack. But when I'm going to the office or on the road, a lot of times it's inside of a backpack, and that backpack might be sitting in my office on the middle floor and I'm on the top floor, or sitting in my car where I don't actually have access to it. And so it's really nice to have it on your person. And for me, most of these Leathermans are too bulky to pocket carry, so that's really not an option. So really enjoying that, although I don't love the sheath. I do want to find an option to carry this either in this horizontal orientation, or in one of the larger caddies where you can hold a Leatherman and a flashlight and a pen, something like that. So for me, I definitely have enjoyed this belt. I definitely want to get a little bit more into the belt carry. It has been super convenient for me, and even though I wasn't doing it before, it's something that adds some options for EDC for me, which is really nice. And then in particular, I'll probably check out their fashion belts as well, mainly for this ratcheting system. It's a problem I didn't know I needed to solve until I had it, but it solves it very well. And I believe they have 2 US patents on that ratcheting system. They were the first ones to use it. I know there's other gun belts out there that have a ratcheting system, but they were the original. And, you know, it's always great to support kind of the original, not whoever's copying them. I'm sure maybe there's slight variations and maybe they work as well, but from my experience, obviously, which is only with this one, it works really, really well, and again, solves a problem I didn't really know I had, but that I think would work well in a non-EDC belt as well. So I'll definitely check out their fashion belts. One thing to keep in mind with that, though, is that although the belts work the same with that kind of ratcheting system on the back and the button release, they are not interchangeable. So the fashion belts, the belt buckles only work with the fashion belt belts, and the tactical belt buckles or gun belt buckles only work with the tactical gun belt. So make sure when you're buying them that you're buying a compatible version, and they list them on the site separately. You can view all of them, where I guess that's where you might get a little bit confused, but if you're viewing only tactical belts or only fashion belts, you're not going to run into that problem. But overall, I've been super happy with this belt. I guess one thing I may not have mentioned yet too is that it doesn't really seem to loosen up over time. Obviously, the way that ratcheting system works is just locked in there, and there's not really any give or anywhere for it to go. And so with the leather belt, you know, they'll start to warp over time, and the holes will get looser, and the material expands just a little bit, and so it just feels a little bit looser throughout the day. And so this does not do that. And the last thing that I didn't mention is, although it's nylon on the outside, they do have this material inside. I don't know exactly what it is. They just say super fiber inner, and it is water and sweat resistant, so that's another kind of nice thing, that the interior is going to be water and sweat resistant. You're probably still not going to want to soak it, but I don't think it would hurt it either. So another nice thing that's kind of different from, again, the recycled Firefighter is the only kind of tactical one that I have it to compare it to. But if you're getting kind of super sweaty or super wet, that will soak through, and kind of the material itself is just absorbent, and so it's going to get wet and kind of gross feeling. Whereas this one has a little bit of resistance because the inner is made from a different material than the outer. So just another kind of nice thing there. So I did mention that they agreed to do a giveaway, which was very gracious of them. Definitely give them a follow on Instagram, check out their website, see if there's anything you're interested in. But if you're watching this within the first week, I will be doing a giveaway on Saturday, April 23rd. And to enter that, you just need to be a US resident and to be subscribed to the channel and leave a comment down below. 1 comment per person and per household. But yeah, I mean, you can leave multiple comments, so just one of them will count. So the comment picker that I use, you can exclude duplicate comments, and so one comment per person will count for the entry. But if you want to leave multiple comments, that's fine. But it's not going to get you any more likely to win. So this is going to be shipping from Core Essentials directly. I'm not actually shipping it out. And so you'll have your choice of any of the X Series 1.5 inch belts and belt buckles, and that will ship directly from them. So you won't be receiving this exact one. You can choose whichever one you like best and whichever combination makes the most sense for you. But again, I'll be doing that drawing in the evening of Saturday, 4/23, probably close to midnight, not necessarily exactly at midnight, but close to midnight, so you'll have all day to enter. And then I'll pin and reply to the comment that wins. I'm not going to contact you from any other emails, Instagram accounts, or YouTube accounts. So if the reply is not from me, just be careful. I know every once in a while you'll see people kind of trying to scam in these giveaways, so be careful of that. But Yeah, that's about it. Thanks again to Core Essentials for sending this over, and of course for the giveaway. Definitely give them a follow if you're not already following them. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Obviously, if you're entering the giveaway, be subscribed and leave any comment you want. I know the last giveaway I did, I had kind of comment specific words. In this one, I'm just gonna, that was a little bit difficult to manage in terms of the comment picker, because if it's not spelled exactly how you want it, the entry won't count. And so what I ended up doing last time was just drawing from everyone's name, not necessarily only the specific words. So comment whatever you want, whatever makes sense to you. But good luck, everyone. In the comments below, let me know if you use a gun belt or specifically this belt and what you carry on it. I'm definitely interested in getting more into carrying different type of EDC tools. Again, carrying a gun's not really an option for me where I live, but would love to get into different other types of knife holsters, Leatherman holsters, and kind of belt caddy systems. So leave a comment down below on kind of what you use, and if I see anything interesting, I'll definitely check it out. But thanks as always for watching, and I hope you have a great one.